Hey guys, thanks for tuning into my channel. Today I want to talk about possibly one of the most powerful lessons in the Word of God. And I want to talk about words. Have you ever heard the old saying, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words can never hurt me? That's not true. Not according to the Word of God is not true. The Word of God teaches just the opposite. It tells us words can control our whole life. So don't go away. We're going to look at a few scriptures today. I promise you they'll be a blessing to you. Stick around. I'll be right back. All right. In the Bible, if you go to the very beginning in the book of Genesis, you find God creating the universe. And it tells us that He spoke the world into existence. He spoke and He said, light be, and light became. He spoke again for the trees to come forth, and they did. He spoke to the fish in the sea to come forth, and they did. He spoke over and over and over. He created the entire universe by words. Now that sounds strange, but if you think about it, the scientific world will teach you that there was a great explosion, a great sound, and it created the world. Well, that great sound was the voice of God. It wasn't just a random explosion. It was the voice of God. It had order to it. He spoke things that He wanted, and it became. There's three scientific facts I want you to get a hold of. Number one, words are sound waves. Words are sound waves. Right now, you're hearing a sound. The vibration is coming into your ears and into your, and it vibrates on your eardrums. It creates a sound. That's what words do. They're sound waves. The second thing you need to understand is this, that all matter, whether it's a microphone, whether it's the Bible, whether it's my desk, this lamp, whatever, all matter is made up of molecules. That's science, according to science, okay? The third fact that you need to understand according to science is this, that all matter can be moved by sound waves. Sound waves moves matter. Let me give you an example. We had a singer at church named Carmen, and he stacked his speakers up. There was this huge pile of speakers, and we have overhead can lights that shine down on the stage, you know. When he got through, all of our can lights were pointing in the wrong direction. We had to get the ladder out and straighten them up because of the sound waves that he produced moved those lights around. Not only that, we've got ceiling tile in the ceiling, acoustic ceiling tiles, and the little things, I don't know what you call them, acoustic white little things, okay, on the tile, fell off, came down on the floor. We had to vacuum it all up off the floor. All because the sound waves that he produced, it moved the molecules around in all of these objects. And we had to do something about it. We had to clean the mess up. We had to put it back. God creates by sound waves. Now look what God said. He said in Genesis chapter 1, verse 26, let us make man in our image according to our likeness, and let them have dominion. How are we going to have dominion? The same way God does, with words. He gives us a list of things here we're to have dominion over. We're in His image, we're in His likeness. Have you ever, I know you have, spoke to your dog and called your dog? Your dog will obey what you tell him. That's what words do. We can control our world if we learn to control our words. Now, the Bible tells us that also in Hebrews that Jesus was created in the exact image of God. He was the exact likeness. And we're told that Jesus is our example. So what did Jesus do? Well, one of the things he did, he spoke to a storm. A storm was raging and Jesus spoke to it. Jesus said, "Peace, be still." And the calm of the storm stopped. He spoke to it. I've seen that in my life many times where I've spoke to violent storms that was coming against me. Speak to them. And they disappear. They come apart. I know you think this is science fiction, but this is what the Word of God teaches. I'm going to prove it to you in just a minute. Like I said, Jesus is our example, right? So, what did he do? He spoke to a storm. What did he do with the demons? He spoke to them, "Come out." The demons obeyed his voice. He spoke to the blind, and the blinded eyes were open. One day, he's on his way to the temple, and his disciples are with him. You'll find this story over in Mark chapter 11. His disciples are with him, and he comes upon a fig tree, and the fig tree has no fruit on it. So Jesus cursed the fig tree, and he said, "No one will ever eat fruit from you again." He went on about his business. The next day he came back that way, and his disciples said, "Lord, look, the tree that you cursed, it's withered and died." He spoke to a tree, and a tree died. And the disciples were all amazed at it. So Jesus tells the disciples in Mark's Gospel, verse 23, let me put this up for you. Jesus said this. He said, "If you speak and do not doubt in your heart, but believe that those things which you say will be done, you will have whatsoever you say." Let me ask you a question. Is it possible, just possible, that what we have today is what we have been saying in the past? In the past, we've been saying we're sick. Guess what? We're sick. We've been saying we're broke. Guess what? We're broke. We've been saying we're stupid. No offense, but we get what we say, Jesus said. We've got to start speaking what God says. God says things like, "I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me." God says there's no weapon formed against me that can prosper. These are the things that God says. God says, greater is he that's in you. Why don't you say greater is he that's in me than anything that's in this world? Look here what he said over in Proverbs 18, verse 21. He said, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it will eat its fruit." Death and life. Now, in the Bible, death and life are also equated with blessing and cursing. Life is blessing, death is things that are cursed. You want something blessed in your life, or you want something cursed in your life? Notice that verse said the power of the tongue. The tongue has power to produce fruit, it says, and you're going to eat it. Whatever fruit your tongue is producing, according to that verse, you will eat it. Death and life, read it again, are in the power of the tongue, and those that love it will eat the fruit thereof. That is absolutely amazing. That we're going to eat fruit based on what comes out our mouth. Think about your children. What stupid things do you say to those poor kids? "Well, you'll never amount to nothing. You'll never have a good education. You'll never have a good job. Look at you. Look how you act. Look what you do. You're never going to have anything in this world." We speak that stuff into people's lives. We've got to change. We've got to start speaking the Word of God into people's lives. Start telling our children, "You're blessed when you get up. You're blessed when you lay down. God is with you. He's not going to forsake you." Start speaking the Word of God into people's lives. Look at this verse over in Proverbs chapter 6 and verse 2. "You are snared by the words of your mouth. You're taken captive by the words of your mouth. Notice here, child of God, you're snared. Do you know what a snare is? You're snared by the words of your mouth. A snare is a little trap. I used to make a little trap and try to catch me a rabbit. I take a little rope and I would make a loop out of it, and I'd put something in it, like a carrot or whatever, to catch the rabbit. And that was a snare. But I had no idea that the words that came out of my mouth was going to snare me for the rest of my life. Wow. I got a hold of this, 30 years ago. And when I did, I started changing the words that come out of my mouth. And it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, because I was in such a habit of negative junk coming out of my mouth all the time. It took effort to change it. Thank God I got it changed. God has done a work in my life because I've changed the words of my mouth. I want to ask you, what's coming out your mouth? Life and death, or blessing and cursing? I hope this has been a blessing to you. If it has, how about clicking on the little subscribe button underneath here and following my channel? And then when you click it, click the little bell down there. And then when I make a new video, you'll get a little ding-a-ling on your phone that'll tell you that I made a new video. And if you want to watch it, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. But do me a favor and subscribe to my channel. And also, if you would, share this on Facebook with your friends. I'd love to get more followers. God bless you, and we'll have another lesson for you before too long. Bye.